back to my channel. Earlier, I came across to me that, podcaster Joe Rogan has been making a lot of videos about transgender people, and at least that's what he claims to do. But he keeps describing people that do not match our descriptions. I mean, he's trying to make a case that we're these dangerous, big, hairy men that, that have these enormous hard-ons and go on into women's bathrooms to lust, leer, and all these crazy shit that either we have no desire for or don't lack the capability to do. I mean, I don't know. Joe, if you're watching, let me tell you, I am going to naturally assume you did not watch my first video where I try to reason with you. Because, there are some things that you and I seem to, have an interest in, ancient astronaut theory, ancient earth theory, and a few other intellectual pursuits. But when it comes to talking about transgender, you don't know shit. And part of your big problem is you have never talked to one of us. I don't think you've ever met one of us. And you are repeating lies and misinformation, and you're spreading it because you keep making videos about it. I think you're doing it. No, maybe, I find it impossible that someone as smart as you could be actually believing the shit you say. I mean, when you describe transgender women, you literally describe a man that looks like you, big, muscular, intimidating guy. Okay, and maybe he throws a dress on and goes into a women's bathroom. I mean, that almost never happens. And if something like that happens, it happens because you're dealing with someone who is not transgender. Okay, that's not something we do. You're making this whole case, and you're trying to get young incels out there, motivated, inspired. Listen, buddy. People have tried to reason with you and try and say, listen, maybe you suffer from a lack of education. Or maybe you feel it's your personal mission to try to harm us because you are creating harm by spreading this misinformation. People, again, there's a good doctor out there who has even offered to come on your show, talk about us. She's a good ally and defender. You refuse. Instead, you continually repeat the lies. You keep describing these hairy, muscular men with enormous hard-ons. I don't know what the fuck, I don't know. You watched porno movies from the 1970s? Back when the porn industry used to pay people that weren't on HRT to get breast implants and basically pretend to be us. I don't know. What is it, this is a fantasy of yours? Is this a sick perversion, or is it really a projection of who you are? Because your constant misinformation and your way of you describing us, you describe us in these very lucid, very unwomanly terms. I mean, you are trying to dehumanize us. Do you realize Donald Trump has instructed ICE to arrest people like me because of shit you say, shit that people like you continually spread. You spread these falsehoods. You are trying to portray us as sexual predators. You, my friend, look very much like one of my attackers, okay? I was sexually assaulted twice. So I don't take this shit lightly, okay? I try to be nice with you. I try to reason with you. But you're not interested. You'd rather be a fucking knuckle-dragging Cro-Mag, dragging your fucking feet around, talking shit, because that's what you're doing right now. You're just talking shit. You're not even trying to fucking understand the issue. Look, if you don't understand the issue, research it. If you don't want to understand the issue, then don't talk about it. I mean, it makes you look like a fucking fool. It not only makes you a fucking fool, it's like, these short-term ratings are just going to ultimately hurt you in the long run because you are spreading lies. You are talking shit, Maybe you're getting a lot of money for this. I don't know, but you know, the fact of the matter is, you are essentially, because you know you're spreading shit. You're not only a demagogue, you're a fucking liar. Is what you are. You're a fucking liar. You're exactly the type of motherfucking man that always tries to fuck with us. You guys, and I'm serious, because every other man that's hit on me had a build like yours. Some even look like you. Okay. I've had a lot of men hit on me. Straight men, not gay men. Gay men aren't interested in femmes. You know, they're not interested in, you know, transgender women. Not at all. And transgender women are not interested in harming other women. You know, so-called cis women or biological women, whatever you want to call them. You know, naturally born women, doesn't matter. We're not interested in that shit. You know. Yeah, in fact, I hate to break it to you, but you know, most of my trans sisters out there, they're like men, you know, not men like you. Of course not. No. I mean, maybe some like muscle-bound guys. I don't know, but they're like gentlemen, people who can treat people with respect. You've been treating us with nothing but disrespect. I mean, you know, whatever credibility you think you had, you're really losing it, because you're just talking shit now. I mean, maybe it gets you ratings, maybe it makes you some little money. I don't know. But you know, you need to realize you are causing harm, because some people actually believe your shit. You have a very large following, much larger than mine. And I don't expect to change any minds. But people take you with not with a grain of salt, but they take you with like, well, maybe this guy knows what he's talking about. No, you don't. You don't know shit when it comes to us, because you never talk to us. You never want to invite one of us. You know, you don't have any proof. You have no fucking stats. I mean, I earlier challenged you. I said, invite 3 different types of trans people on your show. You know, get a trans mask on there. Get a post-operative trans woman on there. Maybe get a femme like me on there. Okay, I'm not me personally, but ask another femme. Okay. You'll have 3 different experiences, but the one thing that we all have in common is we have suffered bullying and harassment since early childhood. And now we're well into adulthood. We're still getting it from the same motherfucking men. The same little boys that harassed us as children. You're bullies then, you're bullies now, and you're not fucking letting up. But unfortunately now, some of you have been elected to positions of power, and now you are looking to actually get a lot of us killed. That's not cool. You know, whatever you think however you think you're cool, whatever's gonna, you know, stroke your boat and get you to have that beer at the end of the night, you know, it ain't cool. And you have to really, you know, again, consider who you're talking about. You are describing very masculine men of a very predatory type when you talk about us. And, you know, trans women for the most part, I mean, I'm old, okay? I won't deny it. I'm almost 60 years old, okay? And actually, compared to my classmates, so I'm doing pretty good considering what I'm going through right now. We're living under some heavy-ass stress right now. You know, the FBI turned up the heat on us. The president himself, you know, constantly spreading lies about us, and now he's ordered, you know, ICE to round us up. You know, they're planning on murdering us, and you're probably thinking, well, good, too bad, too shit. You know what? What is real fucking wrong with you that you just can't let people live? I mean, I don't like assholes like you. I'll be honest with you. I despise fucking guys like you, okay? But I am not going to write letters and petition and start a political movement or go on a radio talk show or podcast or television and advocate for your death or for people to assault you. Why? Because that wouldn't be cool. I think you're a real asshole personally now, because you won't listen to reason, and you're being a total dickhead and just talking shit. Okay, all right. But I would still fight for your right to have free speech. I would never call for your incarceration over this. I mean, what you're doing is a dickhead fucking thing to do. And yeah, you know, hey, You are what you eat, boy. So listen, there's no point in trying to reason with you at this point, because you're going to continue to do it to you until you fucking, back the fuck off. We have a lot of heat on us right now, and a lot of girls are getting hurt, and some, some trans men out there, you have no idea. You have absolutely no idea what it is to be us right now. I mean, the constant harassment, the constant bullying, the constant threats. And in some cases, some of us have been attacked, and some of us have been murdered. And right now, we're potentially facing a genocide right here on American soil. And guys like you are throwing gasoline on the fire. And it's not cool. It's not cool at all. So whatever you think you are, whatever you think you're doing, you are no better than those propagandists in Germany back in the 1920s and the early 30s. You're doing immeasurable amounts of harm. And I have to call you out on it because, again, we tried to be nice about this. We tried to reason with you. You're not willing to listen to reason. You're not even willing to talk with one of us. But yet, you're going to talk about us. I was once taught a long time ago, if you don't know a particular subject, if there's something, you shouldn't talk about things you don't know. You shouldn't be, just making up shit or just complying with things, because really, again, when you talk about big, hairy men, masculine men, you even describe men with beards going into women's bathrooms to leer and lust and, potentially, do something vile and disgusting towards biological women. That sounds like you're describing yourself. It really does. And that's sad, because, unlike my other trans sisters, I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt, but you are, I guess, I've been proven wrong. I've been wrong about you. I thought maybe because you like some intellectual pursuits that maybe there was just enough in there I could reason with you, but you've chosen to do otherwise. I'm sorry. I won't take back my statements, because you are just causing the harm left and right. And the way things stand, any moment I live, any video I post, it could be my last, because of people like you and the shit you're doing. I hope things do not come to what they're saying. I hope this transgenocide never manifests. But if it does, our deaths are going to be because of people like you. You have a chance to stop all this. You have a chance to make a difference. It's okay if you're wrong. You can admit that. But if you can't do that, if you can't even listen to reason, the best thing you can do is just stop talking shit. Stop spreading lies, misinformation. You keep painting us with the same brush as some 2-3 odd perverts out of maybe 1 million visits to a restroom. It's like people that aren't even trans. You don't even know what that is. You have no idea how frightened many of us are right now, living in fear, looking over our shoulder constantly. And because of guys like you, even in safe areas, I have to look over my shoulder. And men who look like the kind of guys that would listen to your show, they're getting very emboldened and very aggressive. And I can't tell you how many of my female friends, people who were born actual, biological girls, as you like to say, I can't tell you how many of them have been harassed because of it. I've even had one almost literally assaulted, in a women's room by a man who followed her in to taunt her, or harass her, because he didn't think she was a woman. I've been using women's room for 30 years. Never had a problem. Now I have to watch my back. It's ridiculous. you're not protecting women and girls. You don't give a rat's ass about them, let's be honest with you. None of you fucking men that claim you're protecting women and girls, you don't give a shit. Particularly the ones that complain about, you're saying men in sports. You never counted me as a man. I was called a girl almost my entire life. So now that I'm legally living as one, and I now have a lot of the parts of one, now you want to turn around and say, oh, well, this is just some man in a dress. It's like, hey, I think maybe a good number of you are a bunch of walking penises, but that's besides the point. To deserve castration. But, all that aside, don't mean shit in the world. You know what you think, But what does matter is how you use your words and how you use your show. I think you know what you're doing. You have some personal hatred, some personal prejudice. I don't know what it's about, but I severely doubt any one of us has harmed you or wronged you personally, But you've given a lot of us a lot of reason to do the very thing to you, And the most you're going to get out of me at most, because I doubt we're ever going to meet. And trust me, I'm not going to fight you mano to mano, you fucking Cro-Mag. I'm not going to do that. That's not what I do. And, I really wish you'd come to your fucking senses. Like I said, it's okay to be wrong. If you admit it, a real man can admit when they're wrong, I don't know. You guys rather just act like a bunch of meat sacks instead, and nothing I can do about it. In fact, I'm probably wasting my breath, but hey, what needs to be said needs to be said, and I am just one of many voices out there. We're right now, we're fighting for not only our right to exist, but our right to stay alive because of rhetoric such as yours, such as rhetoric from Donald Trump and money from Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and the evil fucking plans of the Heritage Foundation. You guys are going to get a lot of us killed. A lot of people, innocent people, all they want to do is be happy. You can cry mental illness all you fucking want because your armchair PhD or YouTube University credentials really makes you sound so illegit. But it doesn't. And I'll tell you, I don't know, maybe your parents didn't love you enough. I don't know what the deal is, but, I would hope that you would have been taught the golden rule, and that is treat people how you want to be treated. I like to be nice to people because I want people to be nice to me, and most people are. But lately, because of guys like you, I'm having to watch over my back. I'm having to watch over my shoulder. And men are looking at me with this, they either want to fuck me or they want to fuck me up. And if I can help it, they'll get neither because, A, I'm married, I do have a wife, and I do have 2 children, and they wouldn't want to see me get harmed. Especially for some stupid fantasy that people like you have given them. Some rape fantasy that doesn't happen in reality. Because, A, it's just show business, right? Okay, Joe, that's all the oxygen I'm going to waste on you. And I won't make any further videos about you because you're not, frankly, worth my time. But, again, when needs to be said. Well, there you have it. Okay, folks. We're going to move on to more important things and more important people. And we're going to leave this guy in the dustbin of history if we can help it, unless he decides to do a massive turnaround, which I have no hope for. So, if you've enjoyed this video or you found this amusing, please do subscribe and hit that like button. I know everybody tells you to do that, but it really does help. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and check back with us and wait for our next video. Do take care. Be good to each other. Love you all.